Welcome back. Now, I don't know if you've watched it yet, but I actually just posted my thoughts on the Benchmade Bugout and or my thoughts on Benchmade and why I basically have said I've been wrong and how I am, you know, going to be nicer about it because one, I actually really do like my Benchmades. I do like my Bugouts. Um, So if you haven't watched that video yet, it should be before this video, but this is the official review on the Benchmade bug out. Now, whew, it's kind of funny because you think, let me see something for a second, because, okay, you think that with all the years that I've bought, sold, and trade bug outs, and had a whole video about a fake bug out versus a real bug out, you think I would actually have a review on the actual bug out? And the answer to that is I don't. I didn't realize I didn't. Now, this one looks a little more nicer because I did sharpen the edge. The edge wasn't as sharp out of the box as I'd like, but we're not going to get into that. And plus, I've been actually carrying this version of the bug out, but that's for a different story. I will do a crossing blades on the two bug outs. Now, what do we have here for the Benchmade bug out? We have a 3¼ inch blade, give or take. We have a just over 4-inch handle. We have what they call their axis lock, which is a crossbar lock. As you can see, I pull back on that bar and it releases the knife. It is, in my opinion, a very stable locking mechanism. Some people think, they talk about spine whacking and this and that. I've had no issue with a Benchmade's axis lock failing. They have been great. As you can see, these screws is where they have these two, actually, I didn't realize this, they're two titanium pieces, if you could see them in there, two titanium pieces that actually come out to here and they get screwed in, and that's what the crossbar lock is on. You have a nice deep carry pocket clip with the screws that are not recessed, and the pocket clip is not recessed, but I have no issue getting this in and out of the pocket. We are going to pick out the trusty rag that will show you how it carries in the pocket. As you can see, it carries nice and deep in the pocket, and there's plenty of room where it doesn't snag or anything else. I feel like it would be a bigger issue if the non-deep or the non-flush screws were right behind the pocket clip. I think that would make a difference. This one comes in S30V, which in my opinion is probably one of my favorite steels. It is easy to sharpen. It is easy to strap back. I mean, it's not the easiest. I mean, steels like 14C28N or 1095 and a lot of those other steels are obviously easier to sharpen, but in my opinion, S30V is still fairly easy to sharpen. And even just strapping it, I'll cut cardboard and do stuff throughout the day, and then all of a sudden I'll come back and I'll do a few strops, and I'm back to cutting, paper, cardboard, or like magazine paper, thinner paper, no issue. And I like to use magazine paper because magazine paper has, it's very thin, but also it has a slight coating on it, I guess you could say, where, it's not like standard paper. So it's got to not only cut through the magazine paper, but it's got to cut through paper, basically. As you can tell, nice thin blade stock. I mean, very nice and thin. This is a very slicey blade. It is nice and ergonomic in that way, for geometric, I should say. You have two nice thumb studs, which are absolutely nice. Benchmade has probably my favorite thumb studs out there. They're not too big, they're not too wide, and they feel absolutely excellent. In the hand, obviously, this is a very nice, easy, ergonomic knife. Forward cuts, back cuts, pinch cuts. You got some nice jimping right here. So right where your hand wants to land, you got that jimping that's nice right there. Plus, it's not on the blade. I've heard people talk about they love jimping on the blade versus they don't like jimping on the blade. Well, I could see arguments to both sides of what's good about both, but in my opinion, I mean, I kind of like not having the jimping on the blade. I think it makes it look nice and clean, and plus the jimping's right here. It's in the perfect place. As you can tell, I have extra large hands, and I can fit this knife in my hand, no issue. No issue at all. You have a not only the deep carry pocket clip that can be removable, but is also flippable. So all you lefties out there, this knife is fully ambidextrous because the crossbar lock works works with both hands. See? You just pinch it back and it moves back. So if you're a lefty, just switch that over. No issue. This knife works for you. Great ambidextrous system. Any lefty or righty can use this knife. No issue. Also, what I like about the knife is that it's safe. So as you could tell, my fingers are out of the way. So as I pull back this and I push down the blade, see how my fingers have not been in the way at all of that knife blade. So when it goes up, when it comes down, you could tell. One of my oldest sons is a lefty, so actually I got him it's a Chinese brand, but it is a Axis style lock because of that reason, because it is ambidextrous, and because it has the finger safe portion of it. I don't want him to get his fingers cut, and he can easily access it both ways. So that's 2 reasons why I trust this to people who aren't big into knives as well as people who are into knives. It does create a fidget factor, obviously. In the camera, it's a little hard to tell, but you can reverse flick it, which I don't have a lot of space to do all that, so I'm either going to hit the camera or hit my finger, and I don't feel like doing that. Maybe I could just reverse flick it out like that. Obviously, you can get these to be drop shut like that, but I leave this one a little bit tighter. It makes it nice and solid, and honestly, I don't need it to be drop shut because sometimes I've had it where if they're drop shut, then your fingers get in the way, and then all of a sudden you cut your pinky. Had it happen, know from experience. Uses 2 Omega springs inside. Some people have complained about Omega springs. I have never personally had an issue with Omega springs or have seen anybody in person that has an issue with Omega springs. That's another story. We're not going to get into that. You have a lanyard hole. So if you decide to take off the pocket clip and put this on a lanyard, you're perfectly fine. What is the whole point of a Benchmade Bugout? Well, these are lighter than light. These are like, what are they, 1.8 ounces or something like that, which is an extremely, extremely light knife. Just for example, on average, depending on the knife, I mean, you could be looking at anywhere from 2 to 4 ounces. Typically, is your knife, around like 2.25 ounces to maybe a little over 4 ounces. I mean, that's average. Obviously, there's knives that are, a lot heavier than that. But I'm just saying your average pocket knife that people carry around with them, between that 2 to 4 ounce range. So this is under 2 ounces. Great for backpacking, great and easy for use of many different things, honestly. Easily slicing. It goes through cardboard like butter. I've had processed many sheets of cardboard and zip ties with these. And like I said, it's a solid knife. I love the deep carry pocket clips. This is their shorter pocket clip. These knives are absolutely amazing. I know the price on them isn't always ideal for some people, but you know what? This is a solid knife. And people complain about the little bit of flexing. Yeah, okay, it flexes a little bit when you're doing really heavy cuts. Yes, you can feel it flexing a bit, but you know what? It's not breaking. It's not the end of the world. It's not gonna destroy. It's not gonna get destroyed. One of my favorite YouTubers, the DBK boys, Dutch Butchcraft. Actually, it's technically 2 YouTubers. I've seen them take Benchmades, whether it's the M4. They actually did one, I think, on the Freak recently, but they actually did one also on the Benchmade Bugout, and they actually batoned through logs. Yes, batoned with a Benchmade Bugout through logs. I would highly recommend going to DBK and seeing this, because you know what? It just shows how tough these knives actually are. And what's great about Benchmade is you got the lifetime warranty as well as the lifetime sharpening warranty. So if you're not like me, I love to sharpen, but if you're not like me and you're not a person who knows how to sharpen, has the ability to sharpen, or has the proper tools to sharpen, obviously this you could send this back to Benchmade and they will sharpen it for you at no cost, which is absolutely amazing. So in my opinion, Benchmade are a great American USA company out of Portland, Oregon, if I remember right. Let me just double check that. I don't want to give false information. Oregon City. I'm sorry. They have Oregon City, but still in the USA. So I was right about Oregon, just not Portland. They have Oregon City, and they are making really nice, high quality knives. If you are still interested in Benchmade Bugouts, they obviously offer custom options. Now, this one is not a custom. This was a exclusive from Blade HQ with the 20CV and the G10, but you can have these made in a custom shop as well. So I will probably do another video called of the Crossing Blade series with these two knives, because one has 20CV and G10, and just seeing if those two factors are worth it. So for right now, this is the Benchmade Bugout. It gives my seal of approval. It is a amazing knife, and I highly, highly, highly recommend a knife like this to anybody. Take care of yourself, guys. Be safe. Be nice. Take care. Bye.